Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope everybody is having an amazing day. Now guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can treat your Lophophora cacti and also any other types of hard skin cactus plants by using neem oil. Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about neem oil and what neem oil I actually recommend. And certain plants you probably need to be a little bit careful of with, such as crassulas, euphorbias and kalanchoes. Although I've never ever had any problems when I've used it on them plants. It's just something you need to be a bit cautious of if you're very careful with certain types of plants. As I say, I'm only sharing my experiences in this video with my experience with neem oil. I've never had a problem with it, but some growers are a little bit cautious. So before I say anything else, I'm going to be repeating it throughout this video. When it comes to treating plants you've never treated before with neem, it's a bit like when you dye your hair. Treat a small area first, leave it for 2 or 3 days, and then if there's no problems, treat the whole lot. And if you have a very diverse collection of plants, maybe just spray a small selection of each one, 2 or 3 leaves or parts of the plant before doing the whole collection. And that's how I learnt about neem. I started doing that, and as I say, I've never had a problem with it. And I think a lot of it is down to the fact that I've always followed the instructions carefully, never overdid it, and also thoroughly mix the neem oil with a high quality horticultural grade liquid soap. And in this video I'm going to be recommending Pink Sun because it's very good quality. It's good for your skin and also for plants. It's a proper horticultural grade one and safe for your skin. As I say, if it's good for skin, then it's going to be good for your plants. So just bear this in mind when you're buying it. Make sure you get a good quality one. I'm going to repeat that all through this video, so I won't go on too much. And let me mixing it with this. But after this introduction, I'm going to be showing you how to make up a batch of organic neem oil with the soap ready to spray on your plants. And that's really it. So guys, I'm going to be using these Lophophoras, a few different types here, and showing you how to use the spray. And all this is a little imposter, one of my Aztecium reterii. I just thought I'd do him at the same time because he's had a bad case of spider mite in the past, and you can just see the new growth coming through. So neem oil is good for lots of sucking pests, in particular spider mite, which is obviously Lophophoras are very prone to. We have a diverse, different type of, other than this Aztecium, of course, the rest are all Lophophoras. Lophophora diffuser, Lophophora williamsi, some seed grown that we've grown ourselves from seed, and some Lophophora caspitistosas and the traditional williamsii. And this is going to show you how to make up the mixture now and a little bit about the neem, and then we'll go ahead and spray. Now, when it comes to using neem oil with plants, obviously there's different types of brands of neem oil. So it's really important that you go for a good quality, preferably organic neem oil. In this case, I can really recommend Pink Sun. They're good quality and they're proper horticultural grade. And this is important because if you just go and get a bottle of neem oil from any type of shop, a chemist or something, and even some of the health shops, it might not be the type of quality neem you want for horticultural use. So in this case, Pink Sun recommend it for horticultural use. So it's safe to use on your plants, and it's also good enough to use on your skin as well. So that proves it's good quality. And as I say, this is Pink Sun. And with the neem oil, it comes in a few different sizes. And with this one here as an example, that's a 250 millilitres. And this one here is the 1 litre, as in this case, we have a lot of plants here. So we're going to be using the 1 litre. But this is a 250 millilitre to show you here. And also it's really important that when you use neem, that you mix it with a liquid soap. And the reason being is that if you use neem oil neat, then you will damage your plants. And also if you just mix it with water, which I've seen some people recommending, and then just shaking it, well, you're going to spray. Oil and water don't mix, so it's not going to mix in the water. So when it comes to spraying your plants, you're just going to be spraying the neem oil straight on, and it can damage the plants if you're using it that way. I personally have never ever had a problem with using neem but I've always mixed it with the liquid soap, and I've always used either this brand here, the horticultural liquid soap, as I say, by Pink Sun. But when I haven't used that before, I've also used a brand of washing up liquid, believe it or not, a liquid gentle soap called Ecova. And it's fragrance free. It has a very slight fragrance, actually, like a fruity fragrance, but it's very, very, very gentle. And I've never had any problems when I've used that. But I prefer to stick to the proper horticultural gentle liquid soap because that is safe to use on your plants. It's also great to use for cleaning the leaves of your plants as well. A few drops in some warm water, a little bit of a cloth, wiping over the leaves, especially some of the ones like the house plants. It gets the dirt off, which is great. But in this case, it's brilliant for mixing with the neem. So people who have said to me, who have had problems before, they said, oh, I hate using neem oil, or I sprayed it and my plants got damaged. When I've dug further and asked them more questions, I found out they've either been using it neat or using it straight with just water or mixing it with alcohol, which is going to burn, especially in high strength, or not using the right type of quality. Now, there are certain types of plants you do have to be careful with. Now, as I say, I've used this on all of my plants in the past and I've never, ever, ever had any problems. I've used it on ferns. I've used it on all the cacti, practically every succulent. I don't tend to use it on echeverias because they do have, most of the echeverias anyway, have a bit of a colouring over the top, like a white powder. So if you have succulents that have this white powder on, I wouldn't recommend using it. But then again, you can, what you can do is dab it on, sort of put it and just go underneath if you've got bugs around the leaves, but I wouldn't just go and spray it on because it can sort of damage it. But other than that, I've never ever had any problems. As I've used it on my euphorbias, but a lot of people say not to use neem oil on euphorbias because it can damage them. And they also say with some kalanchoes and crassulas as well. As I say, I've never had a problem when I've used it on mine, but I'm just telling you this because this is only me. I would hate you to go ahead and have any problems with your plants now. I've used other types of insecticides on crassulas and they've dropped all their leaves. So they're probably a little bit, and kalanchoes maybe a bit more prone than others. So when it comes to doing any plants, I would always recommend, first of all, when you're using the neem oil, to probably just treat a small area on the plant you want to do. For example, if you're doing this fern here, just spray a small couple of leaves, leave it for a few days. If you have no trouble and no reaction, then go ahead and treat the whole plant. The same with the collection as well. As I say, I've never had a problem with neem. So in this case, I'm just going to go straight ahead and show you what to do. But with any plant you really treasure, then do treat a small area first. It's a bit like when they tell you when you're colouring your hair, treat a small area first of it, just in case you end up when the colour you really don't want. And it's the same when it comes to treating with all plants. And I personally have found this great, as I say, and I'm just sharing with you in this video how you can treat your plants with neem oil safely. I'm not going to hold any responsibility should your plant have any problems due to this, because as I say, I'm only sharing my experience, and I think the trick is it is 100% important to mix it completely with the water and the soap. I'm going to show you what to do. And as I say, I personally recommend the Pink Sun brand because it is good quality and with the gentle soap. And links down below in the about section of this video where you can purchase this neem oil from on Amazon. It's the best value, I think, from Pink Sun. I put links down below to the 250 millilitre bottle and the 1 litre bottle, and also the horticultural gentle liquid soap, which you have to use with this because it's a must to otherwise you will damage your plants if you just use it neat and mix it with just water, because oil and water don't mix. And also you can get the pack together where you get the neem oil and the liquid soap together in, I think it's a 250 ml. So I'll put links down below to them where you can buy them on Amazon. So do go ahead, and this is the only neem oil I will recommend. As I say, other growers may have other types of neem oil they like. It's most important that it's good, it's for horticultural use. Anyway, I have to cover that because that's the most important thing talking. As I say, any prize plants, treat a small part first, and then no trouble after a few days, probably a couple of days at most, go ahead then and treat the whole collection. So let's get going, guys. Now what you will need to do is a pressure sprayer like this, and preferably one that actually has measurement on. I've already pre-filled this with warm water, and in this case I've got this is a 2 2 litre bottle of, and I've got 1 litre here because I'm just going to use 1 litre because I'm just going to use this on a small amount of plants. So that's what you need to do, is have it correct measurement out there. And that there. Now what you want to do is use warm water, and what they recommend is 5 millilitres of pure neem oil. Now this is a little measuring cup, a little teaspoon here, a 5 millilitre one, especially from the chemist. And this is better than using sort of these type of ones that you'd use to make a cup of tea with for sugar, because it's flat and it's difficult to get a proper measure out of that. But this is going to be good for stirring it in. The one that's actually deep like that, so you're going to get a proper measure there. And as I say, it actually states 5 millilitre on it there. So that's not going to go anywhere. It's going to hold it well. And as I say, you can get these from most chemists and drug stores. So just pop in and usually ask the pharmacist if you can purchase a 5 millilitre medicine spoon. This I find ideal. But some of the neem oils will actually come with the caps with the measurements in anyway. So 5 millilitres of neem oil with 10 millilitres of horticultural soap. Now, as I say, different brands, if you're using a different brand of neem oil, it may say different measurements, and the same with the soap. What you need to do is go with what it actually says on your bottle of brand, rather than what I'm telling you here. But I'm only saying that this is the brand I would recommend, and this is the measurements on this one. So, but always go with what you've got. Now, as in this case here, what you want to do is for every 1 litre, it's 5 millilitres of pure neem oil with 1 litre of warm water, and then 10 millilitres of horticultural grade liquid soap. So what you want to do first, now some people might say, you put the neem oil in first, then you put the soap, then you put the water, mix it in. I personally prefer to put the water in first, then I like to use the soap next, and then the oil, and then give it a very, very, very good stir and a shake. But you can really, as long as it's all mixed together, that's really what you need to do. It doesn't matter whether you prefer to put the oil in first, then the soap and the water. Do whatever you feel is best. Over trial and error with this, in time, I like to put the water in first. Now, in this case, it's for 5 millilitres with every 1 litre. So I have got 1 litre here, because that's all I need. But if you want to make less, you just divide it to what you need to use. I'm going to be treating quite a lot of plants today, so I'm going to have a big one litre here. But if you only needed to do a handful of plants or 1 plant, as I say, just use it as what you need, but make sure you don't use over what you recommend. And I'm using this because it's a good example to show. There's 1 litre exactly. Warm water, just lukewarm water. And then you want to do first the soap first. Obviously give the actual soap in the bottle a stir. And as I say here, this is the bio soap. Taking the label off here. So it's always good that when you buy a product, make sure that it is got the label on and it's not one that obviously has been used before. You want to make sure that it's safe and there's no anything in it that can cause damage to your plants. And as I say, it's 2 5 millilitre teaspoons per 1 organic. So here we go. Here, I'm going to show you in the camera. And so you just want to pour that in. 1, 2. There you go. That's that. And then you want to use the neem oil. Again, give it a good shake. Open the lid here. And as I say, it's just that I prefer to use the horticultural soap first before I use the oil. But, you want to mix it up whichever you prefer. And as I say, just 5 millilitres of the organic neem oil here. And as I say, you don't necessarily have to use organic, but I think the better quality is this nice thick solution here. And just 1 of these. Make sure that it's level. And this is why I prefer to use this rather than a flat teaspoon. It's easier to see the measurement. Tip it in there, nice and thick. And it has its own sort of unique sort of smell to it. But very nice. And that's all you have to do there. Make sure it's all in. And the trick then is you want to make sure that you mix it as much as possible. And this is the most important thing, because a lot of people who be using this just, you know, put the thing on and start spraying, and then you will get problems. This is so important because the oil and water do not mix. So in this case, I'm going to be giving it a real stir. And then the next thing again is you want to give it a shake, 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 shake as much as possible. So here, put the lid on. Ooh. This is the trick, guys. You have to really, 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 really mix it. And I think when a lot of people have trouble with neem oil, is because they're not mixing it with the soap, or they've used soap that's scented, you know, that you'd use on your face and your hands. It's proper horticultural soap you need to use, or a very, very gentle, mild soap like Ecova. And you'll know when it's mixed really well, because this will go a little bit frothy. Just show you in there. That's how it goes. Oh, nice and lovely and frothy, as you can see. That's when you know it's mixed with the oil. And then it's all ready then to use, and all mixed up. And once it's made, you've made the mixture up, it's important that you use it within 8 hours, because obviously it's not going to keep too long. But it's one of them, the scents when you spray the plants, you either like or you don't like. Personally, I love the smell, but some people don't like it. Now, with our neem oil, it's not a insecticide that is contact immediately. Now, it does take time. What happens, you see, it works its way through the plant. It does sort of a little bit systemically, but it works in a different way to normal type of systemics, in the sense that you spray the plants. The bugs, what happens, the bugs actually eat the leaves, the sucking bugs, and then it affects them. Some of them will die from it, but a lot of the time, that especially the bugs are quite resistant to a lot of insecticides, it affects their reproductive system. It sounds awful, but it actually over time then stops them from reproducing. And this is a great method because it only affects sucking insects that chew on your plants. So it's completely harmless to bees, completely harmless to other type of insects, even beneficial insects, because remember, beneficial insects don't eat your plants, they only eat other insects. And it does not hurt birds or anything like that. Now, it can be dangerous to aquatic life, you have to be careful, but I don't think we're going to be having too many fish around your plants. So that's just something to bear in mind. It's not going to work instantly. It can take up to a month to get the effects from using neem oil. So if you've got a very bad infestation of bugs on your plants, you may have to resort to using a chemical systemic initially, just to keep the infestation down. This is a very, very good preventative. Neem oil is a brilliant preventative, especially for things like spider mite and mealybug. And once you've treated your plants with this, you have to repeat it again 7 days later, just to make sure that you're covering all the plants again, and any newly hatched insects will also get affected. So it's always good to do it again 7 days later. And as I say, because it takes a while, it works itself through the insects system when they chew on the leaves. It's not an instant overnight thing. So just bear that in mind. Now, there's 2 ways of using neem oil once you've made the mixture up. And one is you can use it as a soil drench. And the other one is to use it on the foliar, the actual leaves and stems of the plant. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you using it on the actual stems of the plant. And the reason being is, personally myself, I haven't got any experience of using it as a soil drenched. Now, I have used it once. One of my plants did have sort of fungus gnats, and I sort of sprayed it on the top surface of the soil, and it got rid of the fungus gnats in a couple of weeks. I was very impressed. But I've never actually used it as a proper soil drench, as in watering it thoroughly into the soil. And although I know people who have used it and had very good results from that, I have not done that myself, so because of that, I cannot recommend that. Obviously, I don't want to recommend something I haven't done myself. But when it comes to using it on the actual leaves and stems, I've had amazing results. So this is what I'm going to be showing you in this video. So just bear that in mind if you're interested in using it more as a soil drench. and the plant can take it up systemically. Maybe just do a little bit more research on that. But as I say, I haven't done that myself other than briefly when I had some fungus gnats, and the results were good. And the measurements are exactly the same, whether you're using it for on the stems or whether it's a soil drench. So that's it then, guys. And then I'm going to show you how to treat your plants. Now it's time to get spraying, and as I say, the most important thing is with the mixture is to I just keep shaking it all the time, because making sure that the oil and the waters mix, and as I say, it goes foamy when it's completely mixed with the soap. And obviously use any type of spray, as in this case I have this one here. Tuck it down, pump it up, and you want to make sure that that completely cover the whole of the plant here till just before drip off. And as I say, it's safe to use in the soil as well as a soil drench. I've never actually used it completely as a soil drench, but I know no harm at all is going to come to it if it goes into the soil. In fact, it can be very beneficial, so don't worry about that. Unlike a lot of insecticides where the plant's sort of absorbing all that horrible stuff into its system. That's great. And as I say, as I repeated before, it's not an instant overnight thing. So if you've got bugs on your plant, it's not going to kill them instantly, unlike other types of insecticides. This takes its time to work its way through the plant, through the bugs system. And as I say, I think it's a lovely smell myself. Make sure it's thoroughly planted, it's thoroughly covered with this. Oh. As I say, I keep using it on a black tray so you're not going to damage any furniture. Keep spraying it up. And then again. And that's really all you have to do. Keep mixing it. And as I say, like you'd use a normal type of spray, as if you were just watering them with the air pressures here. So it's really important that you do completely cover all of the plant, because and I always find as well this stuff gives a nice sheen to them. A sheen to the stems, I should say. And that's really it. That's really all you have to do. Thoroughly getting into all the nooks and crannies here. And that's it. And then so guys, I say that the trick is you must make sure thoroughly mix the oil, and then repeat this again in 7 days time. And as I say, I cannot repeat it enough, is that if you are doing plants you've not done before, just treat a small area first, so you make sure that no harm is going to come to them. As I say, I've never had a bad reaction ever with neem oil. I have with other insecticides, but not with neem oil. But as I say, this is only my experience, so don't hold it against me if you use it on your plants and they all keel over. Hopefully not. So guys, I hope you found the video really useful, and hopefully you won't come across bugs too often. As I say, cacti, the biggest bug bearers, excuse the pun, are spider mite and mealybug. And obviously neem oil is more of a prevention more than anything, and it's great for small infestations. If you really do have a horrible infestation, then sometimes you have to resort to systemics. And I also like to use rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol too, to remove any physical bugs I can see, like mealybug, sometimes first before using the neem, because then it eliminates the bugs further still. So guys, I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of plant power, as always, from Ireland. And thank you guys so much for all your continued support and your amazing comments. I can't thank you enough. And until the next video, guys, bye.